Good afternoon. This is Ulysses Chavez from Mota Enterprises. It is our pleasure to be here one more time on Leading Fantastic Five with the CAINEM family, a global connection here this afternoon. Today is Friday, August the 27th, and we are so happy to have you guys. I'm going to go ahead and leave it up to the headmaster of this show, Vanessa Mota. Hi, Vanessa. You're live. Please take it away.
Hey, thank you. Again, I want to say thank you to CAINEM for trusting me as the president for the United States for International Chamber of Entrepreneurs. And this program, the Leading Fantastic Five, it's about stories of local leaders who could be global at one point if they're not yet. And, they do many things around the community and have changed lives and have made many changes. Sorry. So today's leading fantastic five, it's always going to be with me included, and the leading fantastic five includes Miss Keisha Hayes, and she's a personal and professional growth strategist, is known as a leading expert in subject matter involving care of our aging beauties, and a leader in professional development training for individuals that care for our aging population. She is the CEO and owner of the Professional Development and Training Services LLC, a school that develops exceptional caregivers that provide excellent care to our aging beauties. She is also the founder of the Aging Beauties Experience and Caring for Aging Beauties, CAB, a nonprofit agency which provides support to our aging population through social engagement and companionship. She is also the CEO and founder of Caring for Aging Beauties Home Care LLC, CABHC LLC, where she provides care for older adults in their home. She emphasizes caring for those that made a way for us and giving back to those that once cared for us. Because of them, we can. She She's an Amazon best-selling author and books titled Boldly Inspired, The Move, and soon to be released Under the Oak Tree Wisdom from Aging Beauties. She is the creator of Senior Service Day, honoring our elderly population, an event which received a governor's proclamation for the entire state of South Carolina, which shows tribute to our seniors, though through companionship and social engagement. She is a nurse, community residential care facility administrator with a master's degree in human resources and healthcare administration and over 20 plus years experience in healthcare. Her lifelong desire is to fight for those that can't speak up for themselves and who deserve the very best for all they do. Her efforts are to ensure the healthcare industry exceeds customer standards, promote exceptional employee culture, and protect the best interests of our aging beauties, who are our greatest generation. Thank you very much, Keisha. So, aside from all this, I know Keisha from our university, Francis Marion University, and I've always admired all the great things that she does. She does them from her heart. So, she is one person that I believe should be global by now, if she's not yet. But I would love for you to tell us your story. What brought you here? What made you who you are now and decide to do so many great things like the ones you have done? I'm even getting goosebumps from everything that I just read.
First, thank you so much, Vanessa, for having me. And you're a remarkable individual, and I am so glad to be a part of this show. Um, can you all hear me? I'm looking like I'm
Yeah,
freezing
we
up.
can. Yes,
Okay,
we can.
okay.
Yeah.
So I got started really not knowing what I wanted to do. When I was at Francis Marion University, I really thought that I was going to become a teacher. And I majored in elementary education. and ended up changing my major at the end to sociology. And then after sociology, I said, what am I going to do with this degree? So I went through so many different things, working for the Department of Social Services, being a victim's advocate for those who were abused. And then finally, I went back and got my master's in healthcare administration, and I couldn't find a job. I couldn't find a job in the hospital like I wanted. So I decided to go back and become a nurse aide. And people thought I was crazy having a master's and going to get nurse aide degree. But I found out that having the practical hands-on skills is what made people interested in me. So I found out that I wanted to work with seniors when I went in my clinical rotation and I was taking care of an elderly woman. And I remember the first instance I had with her, her food was cold. And I asked the nurse at the desk, could I warm it up? And I did. I brought it back to her and she started crying. And I thought, okay, what did I do? This is my first patient I'm taking care of. Well, she told me she had lived there for 10 years and never had warm food. Then at the end of the day, I was done doing everything with her and I decided to give her a pedicure. I couldn't cut her toenails or anything, but I got on my knees and I put her feet in a basin of water and I washed her feet. And I started thinking about the story in the Bible about, washing Jesus' feet, all those different things. And I remember her touching my face and grabbing my cheeks and saying, I've served people all my life. I've never been served. And so immediately I said, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to take care of those who once cared for us. And it just became second nature after that.
Wow. Just with that story, that's phenomenal. I've heard it. This is like the third time I hear it, but each time it gets to me. I heard it at Francis Mary, and then I
Yes.
think we did an interview, and then this time, and it really gets to me because do you feel like that is your purpose? Did you figure out that's your like your personal and professional purpose? Do they combine?
Yes. I remember even talking to my mom and asking her, did I have a love for older people when I was younger? And the house we grew up in was built by her parents, my grandparents. And so in the front of the house is a big oak tree. That's where the title of my soon to be released book, Under the Oak Tree, comes from. And she said, while other people my age were playing, I was sitting there listening to the wisdom from older adults until there was a conversation that I couldn't be a part of because I was younger. So, ever since I was young, I was already forming this purpose and didn't really know that I was. And then after so many different paths along the way, it just kind of confirmed itself. But that purpose, taking care of older people, is connected to the love that I have for developing those other individuals who will go on to take care of them, the caregivers. I think they go hand in hand.
So your purpose does link. Wow.
Yes.
That's really good. Aside from your purpose linking, was it that moment with that lady you were caring for? Was it that moment that you realized this is my purpose, or was there another instance?
At that moment, I thought that that was my purpose with older adults. I think once I moved along, I didn't really start working with seniors right away. I learned more of the healthcare development piece and how that all worked. And later on, those things, as I look back now, they taught me how to run the business that I have now. So I believe that that incident with the older individual led me to know that that's my purpose. But then as I moved into those different paths, it was as if God was taking me on a path to show me the things that I would need to know to have all the things that I have now, to be able to serve not only the older population but take care of the caregivers as well. So over time I added more to that.
Okay. Wow. All right. So then, but that was the instance that made you,
Hmm.
okay, this is
Yes.
where I am going with this. Now, tell us a little bit about your business, the training center. What is it that you do? How did you get it started? When was the time that you said, this is it, this is my business? And I see that you also own a nonprofit. Tell us a
Hmm.
little bit about it. And then you own the day. What would you call it? It's just you own the,
I'm the
is it
home
like
care.
an event or
Oh, the senior service day. Yes.
so you okay, so you have made it a day. Okay.
Hmm. Yes.
So so now talk to me about these things. Talk to me
Okay.
first about your business.
So the business was developed to have a school so that we can develop the healthcare individuals to take care of the senior population. And then those people that were taking our classes to learn how to become healthcare professionals, they would then work in our nonprofit so they can give back to those family members who are caring for their loved ones. And then eventually they will go out and work through our home care agency, caring for people in their home, or connect them to other entities that we are partnered with so that they can gain employment. So we had a strategy for how we did it. The school started because I worked as a nurse in assisted living communities, and I saw firsthand we could not keep caregivers. It was rotating cycles of people in and out. And I realized that they were not there for the good of the actual resident. They were there for the paycheck. And you can tell by the way they treated the older adults. So I said, we have to do better. And I started instantly researching how do you become a CNA? Well, in assisted living communities, you don't have to have a nurse aid license to work there. But I felt we still needed to find a way that when these people are coming to care for someone's loved ones, they have the heart behind it, the vocation behind it. And so that's where the path started. But before the nonprofit was birthed, the day was birthed where we wanted to do more for the older adults, and that was Senior Service Day. And it was presented to Mayor Stephen Benjamin in Columbia. He adopted it first, and then the mayor in Camden came along as well, Tony Scully at the time. And
Mhm.
then once it was heard of and gained popularity, we were able to let McMaster, Governor McMaster, know about it. Well, they heard about it, but we were able to present the proclamation to him.
Yeah.
And it was him that said to me one day, "This is the most well written proclamation I've ever seen." And he said, "You shouldn't just do this for a day, you should do this all the time." And he inspired me to move forward with the nonprofit.
So then you made it a nonprofit. So
Yes.
you began with your business,
Hmm.
you made a day, and then you made it into a nonprofit.
Right. And then the
Wow.
home care came. That's how that all happened.
Now, do you have a foundation for your business?
No, I don't have a foundation. So the nonprofit, of course, is 501(c)(3). I don't
Mhm.
have a foundation.
Do you plan on making a foundation?
Hopefully, in the future, it will become a foundation. What we have going on now is that we are trying to plan just something that we can leave a legacy. All the businesses that I have are leaving legacies, just like you're leaving legacies for
Yeah.
your children. And I
Yeah.
love what you're doing with both of them. But
Thank
um,
you.
we are creating awards. For instance, the Keyshale Servant Award. I saw someone, a friend of mine, who does this in Atlanta and did it in Tennessee, very successful. And so this is a way to capture people who don't get spotlighted often, but are really doing great things. But it also shows that I've done the work with people who have helped me get to where I am, because I couldn't do this alone, and I couldn't do this without the purpose planted in me. So this would then allow me to give back to other individuals who want to gain the momentum that my businesses have over the past years. So it'll
Wow.
be the Keisha L. Hayes Servant Award. It'll be an award in the name of my grandparents Hayes Claiborne Leadership Award.
So
So,
that would be your foundation
mhm,
when you get ready to. So that's the foundation that you're going to
yeah,
add to your business.
mhm,
Wow. And that actually fits everything that you do. Keyshale Hayes, Serving Award Foundation. That's really
yeah.
nice. That's
Wow,
very, very
thank you.
nice. Yeah, I think you should add that because you're such a community training center that that award that you're making should be your foundation for, like you said, other people that are serving that are not
Mhm.
highlighted all the time. That's a great, great thing.
Thank you. I appreciate
No,
that.
no,
You're
you're
always
welcome.
giving me tips.
Yeah, good, good. You do too. You do too, and you help me out a lot whenever we need anything. Now, Keisha, can you tell us something about like where do you plan on going from here?
Okay. So I would love to have this conversation because I know with your intelligence, you have so many different things you would probably be informing me about. But in
Hmm.
my training program, we offer healthcare classes,
Uh-huh.
EKG, phlebotomy, nurse aid. And I've had people who are citizens here in the United States, but might have come from another country that have taken my courses. And
Hmm.
they really love the fact that it's a course that has quality, but it's not a long period of time, and they can get out into the workforce and they can work. And um, I looked at that piece and I said, I want to do more of that on an international level, a global level, because having those individuals in my class, it diversifies everything. And I mean, they show me more innovative ways to do things in the classes based on the culture that they are from. So I feel that that would be great for our organization to be able to have that piece and that offering for that. And also in the nonprofit arena, there are older adults everywhere. I don't want to just limit it to the United States. I want to take care and find out and know what we can do for older adults all over.
Well, I can tell you this. I would love for you and I to meet up. I can help you with all of that. That
Okay.
makes me very happy because yes, I believe that you should be global and there are so many things that you can do. And I have other friends who are already doing it. They're traveling, some are doing it from here. There are so many things that you can do. And I think that
Awesome.
whenever you are ready, just let's meet up, have some coffee. It makes me really happy to hear that you are diversifying a lot and that I figured that you would have patients plus students that
Mhm.
are international. The other thing is, I would love for you to give us a message for the communities here,
Mhm.
because we are a very international community. We have 144 countries that are listening, plus
Wow.
our local countries. So I would love for you to leave us with a great message coming from Keisha L. Hayes and all the greatness that you do.
Well, first of all, I am honored, to say the least, that I am a part of this show and that Vanessa and her family and her community has invited me to be on here today. That's first off. Second, I just want to encourage everyone, no matter where you're at, to keep striving for the best and to look at stories like mine and Vanessa's and other women and men from all over, from different cultures and backgrounds, and see how we did not stop. We were persistent. We were consistent. And I think that makes a difference when you are doing anything. And I know that the world is a little bit in an uproar right now and going through crazy times,
Yeah.
but we can all make it, and making it together is better than trying to do it on our own. And I'll leave you with this. I saw this video about making an impact, and it said that when we were born, we cried when we came into the world. and other people rejoiced. They said you should live your life in such a way that when you die, that people cry and you rejoice.
Oh, wow. I love it. That gave me, thank you very much. Thank you, Keisha. And
Thank
thank you for
you.
being here today. Thank you very much. Okay.
You're very
Adios.
welcome.
Thank
Bye.
you. Hi, everyone. That was Keisha L. Hayes. She is a phenomenal woman, very amazing. And it was an honor having her here today. Next, we have Lon Lee. And this lady, I can tell you, aside from what I'm about to tell you about her, read about her, she is an amazing woman. She has she has done a lot at East Point Academy, and that is a local Mandarin school here. And I'm sure she did a lot more things before that, and she's doing great things after this. But I would love to tell you. So, Junlan Lee is a renowned educator in the fields of immersion program and language and culture teaching. She has contributed to several successful public Chinese immersion charter schools in the Carolinas. Jun Lang Lee is one of the founders of the Asian American Advancing Leadership, a nonprofit organization which strives to promote and develop leadership in Asian Americans in the United States. Jun Lan Lee is graduating from the Doctor of Education program at the University of South Carolina this July. She was the recipient of Eileen Guan Educator Award in 2020. And Jun Lanli, aside from this, I have seen her work her magic with the things that she does in the education system. And she's also very involved with the Chinese Association and other things. So Jun Lanli, can you tell us more about yourself as you are viewed as one of the leaders here? And this program is the International Chamber of Commerce for Entrepreneurs. And as the president for the United States, we welcome you. And we want you to tell us who you are, your story, where you're from. Tell us a little bit about your town. And we just want to highlight you as one of the leaders.
Thank you, Vanessa. It's my honor to be invited today, and I would love to share what I learned, what I observed during the past years while I work as a educator in United States. Actually, I came from China 10 years ago, nine actually, and before that, I was a college teacher, taught English and also taught law because I graduated from a law school back in China. And then, can you hear me very well?
Yes,
Because
we can hear you very well,
good,
very
good,
well. You're
good,
very clear and
good. Thank you.
crisp.
Thank you so much. I just want to make sure that my voice, because I do not have the earphone here with me. Um, so after I've been educator for 22 years. That is half of my life, actually, even more than half of my life. So, um, personally, I at this point I work at East Voyager Academy, actually in Charlotte, because I left East Point, but I'm still coordinate with all of the teachers and leadership team at East Point. Actually, I received a very good news, but I cannot release it at this point, at this here, because
Okay.
that's very good. And our school, East Point Academy, received a very prestigious award. We got no yesterday,
Oh,
but we
wow.
cannot release it. I'm sorry, but that
Okay,
would
no,
be
that's okay.
big.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I'm so proud to work with all of those teams. Um, I've been taught in Waddell in Charlotte. That is our magnet school focused on language immersion as well in North Carolina. And then I have the honor to work with Mr. Bounds and Miss Matthews at East Point and with all of the awesome teachers there too. And now I'm working with Miss Matthews again at East Voyager Academy, which is in Charlotte. It's also a Chinese immersion school, and we're trying to help the school to grow. And
Okay.
hopefully someday we can. And I'm very confident that we can grow it to a school as awesome as East Point.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So all the work that you've done, I mean, it's phenomenal at East Point Academy, because I can tell you that, our daughter was there in the kindergarten, and you can see the growth of the school as the years progressed. It's a pity that you have to go to another school, but it's also a great thing because you're going to help another school grow as immensely as EPA. And that's your purpose. And for these schools to grow so that the children can get a better education. So can you tell us a little bit more, what is it specifically that you do for the schools?
For the East Voyager or East Point?
Is it different what you're doing for both schools, or like at East
Uh,
Point, what were you doing?
at East Point, actually, I serve as assistant principal for Chinese immersion and culture integration. And currently, I'm at East Voyager, who I serve as a chief academic officer.
So you're the chief academic officer at,
Yes, ma'am.
wow, okay, yeah. So what do you do at East Voyager?
So we are trying to get the school structured curriculum at this point, which is very critical for the students' success in academics.
Okay.
And we are also trying to get more international exchange programs into the school. Um, for example, the PEMPA programs, US China Kids, which those programs we also uh, do them at East Point, and and at East Point we're still doing those programs as well, even after I left. So some other teacher took over. So
Okay.
for East Voyager, we are also trying to help the students to grow academically. It's not just for Chinese, but also for all of the other subjects for math, science, social study, and English. And also, we are trying to establish a full curriculum for the related arts courses, including Chinese dance, music, art, PE, and also health education, as well as drama. And we are also trying to develop the full curriculum and implement that into the middle school on-core courses, including computer science and personal financial, as well as entrepreneurships. And all of those things that we would like to help our students to try before they decide what career they're going to go in the future after they graduate from the middle school and high school. So we would like to, in North Carolina, in middle school level, it's all about explorations for the CTE, that is called Career and Technology technology education, and that is a whole system and structure to help the students, to give them some opportunities for them to explore about the world, specifically in the career area, like what kind of job you will be interested. Are you going to be, would you want to try to be a family doctor, or would you try to be a programmer, or you might want to try what kind of job it looks like to be an accountant. And we are also looking at the business education as well as the business law, so that our students can have the opportunities to try whether they would like to be a lawyer someday in the future, or a like we or the business education, like not just manage their own finance, but also trying to help others to
Yeah.
manage their finance. So all of those things we are trying to develop, because at this year we have the seventh grade, that is the highest grade level that East Voyager has, and next year will be the eighth grade, and we'll grade our first group of eighth grade students. So we would really like them to leave East Voyager and go to the high school with some high school credit, not only in Chinese but also in math and EOA. And we also want them to do some exploration before they go to the high school, then start to take the CTE course officially. Because in that is difference between in North Carolina, and it's different. You cannot take related arts credit with you to high school when you were graduate from middle school. But in South Carolina, there are different rules about that.
Yeah, I know the education's different. One of the things you just said to me, that's very valuable because, as you know, we have a business academy here that
Yeah,
begins from children all the way to
sure,
adults.
sure.
And that I wish that more high schools, middle schools, elementary schools would do what you are doing, would teach the financial value because
Right.
sometimes you grow up and make mistakes like I did, um, or the business value and everything. I wish that more s- schools here would incorporate that. So I am very happy to hear that. We teach college level courses here
Hmm.
on entrepreneurship, and
Sure.
we're bringing something for children too. But I really, in my opinion, I wish that what you're doing would happen here as well. uh, Now, do you have a global? I know with that here at East Point, I started the Going Global, and we do it also here at MECBA, Going Global. But I don't know if they're continuing with it or not. But are you guys doing something global as well at East Voyager?
Sure, of course. First of all, I like to say is the point is still continue with those programs without stopping, because even if I'm not there, and because we have Miss Christina San and Miss Ludi and Miss Luna Yuan, and they are all experts in the Chinese education, and
Hmm.
they have been very supportive to all of those programs from the beginning. So its point was still going on as a leading school in United States, nationwide and worldwide. Actually, I think regarding to the Chinese immersion uh, area, and as to the Easter Voyager, we are also trying to seek some sister scholarship friendship with the schools in China, in mainland China, and also in Taiwan, and also us in UK, uh, and also some schools in California who are also offering in California, they're using bilingual model instead of Chinese immersion model. But those students, they also speak perfect Chinese and perfect English. So
Oh,
we are seeking some of the cooperation opportunities with those schools as well. And so we are planning, or we're also working on the China trip as well, so that of course after pandemic, like that and when everything goes well, and the airline ticket also goes down, and
yeah.
we want to bring our students to China or to Taiwan, or maybe both, for them
Uh-huh.
to have some experience internationally, and also trying to get this opportunity to use the language that they learned, and also trying to feel the real culture shock, even if they're in immersion education for 3 years or 4 years next year. And then they will still have some culture shock. But there will be very authentic experience for them to learn. And
Yeah.
I really look forward to that, and hope the pandemic will leave us as soon as possible.
Yeah, and it sounds like wow, it sounds like you're doing really great things. I do want to say that I admire everything that you do. And can you tell us a little bit about your leadership program that you started, your nonprofit?
Um, so we that is a long story. After the tragedy happened in Atlanta, uh, I, me and a group of my friends and colleagues were really, really, how to say that, it's not touched, but we think we need to do something,
Okay.
because that we were called model by minorities. But I think that we I don't want to say Chinese people are this, because that will also put stereotypes on us too.
Yeah.
But the point is that me and many of my friends I know from Asian or from Pacific Island, my friends and me work hard, and we want to fit in the society because this is a land of freedom and everybody should be equal. So if everybody should be treated with respect.
Okay.
So if something happened, we're gonna do something. Otherwise, several years later, I would say, okay, if you didn't do this, you will regret. So the only reason that I don't want myself to say, okay, if I have done that, I will not be in this situation anymore. And we also want to do something for our children. We value the freedom that we got, but we also want to let everybody know that we are equal. So our we group create a nonprofit organization called Asian American Advancing Leadership. We call all, and this we work closely with the local government and also with the local Chinese Asian communities, trying to promote, um, trying to support the Asian AAPIs, the youngers, to increase our leadership and promote our leadership. Because when you can work very well, and if you can be a leader and trying to, because leaders, what is leader? I don't think I think I am a kind of leader because I can impact the person around me. And then as a leader, you're gonna take your person to where you are, to towards your goal. And then when our youngers, they're straight A, they have good job, they go to the best universities, they find a perfect job, but then you you had a good life. But what can make you better is that you can try your best to help others to get a better life. That is
Yep.
what I call leadership. So it's not about just yourself had a good life. It's about you need to use your talent or your experience or whatever you have to help others so that they can have a better life. And that is what I think leadership should be. So we think that we need to do something so that more of our colleagues or friends can help each other so that everybody can have a better life. It's not about your race. It's not about whether you come from Asia or you come from Asian American, or it's not about your color. It's about you work hard, you try your best to impact the person around you so that everybody can live a better life. So that is the goal of our NGO. And so far we receive a lot of support from the communities, from the government, and also from friends like you. And thank you for supporting us too. We
Well,
really,
you know that you have my undivided support. And I would love to thank you for being here with us today. And also, can you leave us with a message from you, June Langley, as a phenomenal leader that you are?
thank you for saying those good words about me. I would like to say, mm, okay, so in Chinese, we have a saying that, how to say that in Chinese? Let me think about that because I'm trying to translate. Okay, it said a journey of 1,000 miles accumulates in a step. So we know that we have a long way to go, but we just need to start and
Step by
accumulate the
step.
steps every day, step by step.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, June Langley. And I hope you
Thank you
have a
for having me. You have a
adios.
bye.
Saijian. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. That was June Langley. She's an amazing leader, just as Keisha L. Hayes. And next, well, I am Vanessa Mota, president of the International uh, Chamber of Entrepreneurs. And it is a pleasure. And I thank CAINEM for this opportunity for leading Fantastic Five. At this moment, we have Laurie. After 20 plus years of service working for the Department of Defense at Booz Allen and Hamilton, Laurie Rao, along with her husband Mike, moved to South Carolina to raise their family. Since 2010, Laurie has owned her own art business, Dragonflies and Roses, where she creates original paintings, as I am wearing one right now. This is her line. And the one for today is USC. So every Friday that I am doing leading Fantastic Five, you will see a different necklace. And these are especially made by Laurie Rao. So, Dragonflies and Roses, where she creates original paintings, hand painted glass ornaments, and other creative art projects. Recently, she has taken on the roles and responsibilities of Assistant Director for Mota Cross Linking Business Academy, better known as MECBA. Before joining MECBA, Laurie was a member of Columbia's Sons of Italy, where she was the volunteer coordinator for many of the Italian festivals. She also served as secretary on the board of directors of Columbia Sons of Italy, and then later as vice president. Laurie resides in Irmo, South Carolina with her husband Mike. They have three children, Ty, Alex, and Jillian. From Boston, Massachusetts, Laurie is second generation Italian and Irish. So, hi, Laurie. It's a pleasure having you. Can you
Hola.
tell us? Can you tell us in a synopsis a little bit about Laurie's story, what she does every day at MACBA?
Well, after my coffee, I come in and I check your calendar and I go down my list of duties. And it's a good day when I get through them all. We are very, very busy here at the Academy. Very, very busy.
Okay, so I would love for you, because I know you run the cross-linking the cross-linking business days. Can you talk about those cross-linking business days?
Absolutely. When I joined you guys, you'd already had your first South Carolina Latino Business Day, and
Well,
I
you're doing
was
MACBA, right?
MECBA, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So when I joined, you had already had
MACBA.
when I joined MECBA. In the meantime, we were starting to plan the South Carolina Latino Business Day for 2020, and it has evolved from a wonderful event where we acknowledge and reward those leaders in business and in community service to reaching out to other communities. Like we did Native American Heritage Day, we did Celebrando Black History, International Women in Business, Asian American Pacific Islander Business Day, and European Business Day. And never did I think that I would ever be involved in these kinds of events. And because I have been involved with Mota Crosslinking Business Academy and the crosslinking events, they have opened my eyes to other cultures and how to do business with other cultures, which is what we're all about. And it's very rewarding to see how the communities come together at these events. So I've learned a lot from them. And I can go into detail if you'd like.
What kind of exposure as a person, a Caucasian woman, Italian slash Irish, going to MECBA and seeing these cross-linking events and working in them, what kind of exposure have you had? And what can you tell your audience or the international audience and even the audience here in the United States? What can you tell them about that exposure?
Before I joined, I had a certain mindset, you could say, as to how I would react to different cultures and different situations and whatnot. As I have been exposed to these cross-linking events and knowing a lot of Latinos and Asian Americans and Asians and Russian, actually, I've gotten to know people from many cultures. I have learned that you have to be not sensitive, but very intent and have a very intentional way of responding and embracing their cultures. And that's one thing that you've taught me, actually, is to be open-minded and to be able to communicate in a way where you're not offending people, or you know or enjoying knowing another culture. It's hard for me to put into words, but that it's a big world out there, and we're all humans, and we all want to be loved and liked. And I think that by working here and being exposed to all different kinds of cultures, my views have changed dramatically.
Okay, good. So before uh before knowing about these cross-linking events and joining them and everything, did you realize that there were so many different cultural businesses around you?
No, I didn't.
How did you
You know,
feel doing this?
I knew about Target and Kmart and and Walmart, but and the mall, but I did not know about all these little mom and pop kind of shops. And the other day I went into Acapulco, and I was just mesmerized by the foods. And I plan on going back and shopping, of course, but I just love all the ethnic kinds of food. And I,
Where'd you go
and
yesterday?
oh yeah, teapot.
Yeah.
So I, it's not just cheeseburgers and fries, everybody. You can enjoy the different foods of the cultures, even in West Colombia. It's just amazing. Um, you know, living in Irmo, before all this, I would just make pasta. Did not know about all the other, all the other different cultures and stuff. And this weekend, I plan on making egg rolls, by the way.
Good, good. Okay. So, oh, did you know that egg rolls really, they do not sell them in China? That's Americanized Chinese food.
Did not know that.
Nope. Egg rolls do not exist in China. But I mean, but they're good. And I mean, they have been adopted, kind of like the burritos are not something is not really Mexican food. I want to say is the burritos or the one something that's sold here. It's not really Mexican. It was just made. I think the burrito came from Texas. It's not really
Interesting.
Mexican food. So there are foods like that, and you will see it. Let me ask you a question. What was something that impacted you the most in the Latino business days? Something that you were that impacted you. One thing.
From last year?
Yeah, just one thing that impacted you from the Latino community at the Latino Business Day.
Well, the closeness that everybody has. It's like, coming from an Italian background, I felt like I was at home, per se, because the Latinos embrace you no matter what. You're always part of the family. And I felt like at the Latino Business Day, after after everybody got acknowledged, and after everybody participated in the ceremony and everything, I thought that when it came time for the reception, that it was all about closeness, family, uniting. It just was. It gave me a warm fuzzy, or as
Good.
we say, here at Becca, goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Okay, just one thing, Laurie. What is something that impacted you in the Asian cross-linking day? Just one thing quickly, because
okay. I enjoyed that impacted me was the coming together of the Asian Americans, the Samoans, the Indian. All of that was just amazing. It just, again, by the food, everybody was enjoying everybody's company and ready to have dinner together, that kind of thing. So I love that.
good. What about the indigenous the Native American Day, Business Day?
Indigenous. I think when we were talking about, I can't think of the name of it, but when the missing, it was when the people were missing, the girls gone, that was impactful because you don't hear about the Native American as much as you hear about other cultures, and I don't. That could be my fault because I'm not really connected to that, or that it's not prevalent in the news as much as other
Yeah.
cultures.
What about the Celebrando Black History? Something that impacted you? One thing.
Um, I think well, we acknowledged a couple of business leaders, and the one was this beautiful little young girl, and I thought she had the support of her family, and she became an entrepreneur. But again, it's different African Americans that an African Latino and all the different cultures and subcultures. It's just fascinating. Just fascinating.
What about European Business Day?
European Business Day. I think my favorite part of that was were the different foods. I thought that it was a great representation. The German food, awesome, and of course everybody connecting, and the Russians connecting. I just thought that was amazing.
Good. Thank you very much, Laurie. I would love for you to leave us with a message coming from you, an amazing woman, a leader, because you show your leadership at MECBA every single day.
Thank you.
And no matter what happens, you're there. So you're the rock of MECBA. Can you tell us? Can you leave us with a
So
message?
the message I'd like to leave is be open-minded. Be open. Life's too short. Be open-minded. Listen more, hear more, be compassionate, just hear what the other person is saying, and be plugged in. If I can say that.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Laurie. Thank you for everything. Okay.
Okay.
Adios.
Adios.
All right. Next, we have Mr. Alan Gogan. And I want to say it. Did I say it correctly, Gogan? I can't hear you. You're muted. Or is it Gegan? You're muted. You are muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Alan? I can't hear you. Okay, so meanwhile, while we're waiting for Mr. Alan Gagan, I want to say it's Gagan or Gogan. I don't want to mess it up, but I'm sorry. So I will tell you, Mr. Allen, again, this has been Vanessa Mota with the International Chamber of Commerce, and I am very appreciative for CAINEM. And also, I would love to thank CAINEM for the opportunity of having my own show, which is Leading Fantastic Five. And we decided to keep it with four as my husband does my marketing, and he was like, we're just going to let you be the Leading Fantastic Five. You can be the fifth one since you're the moderator. It makes more sense. So I said, okay, let's do it that way. Okay. So in Spanish, there's a saying, bendito entre las mujeres. This week, Alan is blessed amongst women, and in Spanish is bendito entre las mujeres, so blessed amongst women. So he's, last but not least, Alan's a videographer, video editor, writer, a research producer of a number of video and media projects. worldwide. Living in New York, Manila, Brussels, and South Carolina, his work has enabled him to explore and research a number of global issues, many in the Southern Hemisphere, supporting many nonprofit, private, and international initiatives with cost effective, informative, and visually compelling media, video, and web related services. He relocated from the Philippines via New York after 46 years of video projects and travels in the Philippines, settling in Columbia, South Carolina in 1997. Working for Media Associates for 3 years, a video production and web development company, and forming Media Network in 2000, providing video post production and web consulting during this period. He was elected president of the Filipino American Association of Columbia, South Carolina, serving two elected terms from 2005 to 2009. In addition to video production, he has hosted, designed, consulted on about 20 plus websites, mainly for artistic and institutional promotions. He has traveled and worked in all continents of the world, except Australia, sharing and blogging about these experiences on the TerraVision site, ad free since 1998. And he is a practitioner of the Japanese originated holistic art of true light, Sukyo Mahikari, since 1991. In 2019, he formed Plum Tree Circle LLC as a venture for all nonprofit media and video projects, including an upcoming documentary about the Mayans of Yucatan, Mexico. What a phenomenal man. He is an amazing person. He has done so many great things. And honestly, I want to hear about your story. Can you tell us about how you got started? If we can't hear you, I don't know what's going on. Uh, But by telling you this, I can tell you a little bit more about Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen was the guest speaker for European Business Day, and he did a phenomenal job telling us a synopsis of the story that goes behind Allen and who he is, and all the great things that he has done in the community. Uh, I know the show must continue as Mr. Allen is trying to figure something out. I I will tell you that he has done some great artwork, and he has done so many great things, and his a lot of his livelihood and his life experience has been international. He has been a very internationally um, known man, and he has done many things in the international world. S- Can't Okay, for some reason we cannot he cannot hear me and we cannot hear him. So I'm not sure if it's something that's going on with the program. I I do want to apologize to everyone. I know that once we have to leave the program, we can't come back in. So, Mr. Allen, I just want you to know thank you for everything, and I'm sorry that we cannot plug in, but because you couldn't plug in, we will make sure that we have you on our next program at MACBA. Okay. Thank you very much. And we really appreciate you. And I'm sure that you would have left us with the greatest message coming from you, because this is one man I wish we could have back on another time. He has so many beautiful stories. Thank you very much. Okay. Sorry. Gracias a todos. Vanessa Mota, de presidenta de los Estados Unidos de International Chamber of Commerce, y le doy gracias a CAINEM por esta gran oportunidad y por poder tener mi propio show, Leading Fantastic Five. Muchas gracias, Carol, y que tengan un hermoso día. Hasta luego, ok, gracias, adiós.